Hi, my name is Allison Yallen, and today I'm going to be talking about the roles of religion centers on college campuses. So, the foundation for this research is Parks Faith Development Theory. And in Parks Faith Development Theory, there are three forms of development. The first is knowing, the second is dependency, and the third is community. So, in these three forms, they each go into 5 more complex stages. And in these 5 stages, typically they go from being an adolescent, just following the adults' ideas and social norms, all the way through to a fully developed, matured adult that can think for oneself and can also understand the truth and the ability in others as well. And so, with Parks Faith Development Theory, a lot of researchers will use this or have something that is parallel to what Parks Faith Development Theory talks about. So that's why this Parks Faith Development Theory is the foundation of the research that I will talk about. And so it's important to know these 3 different steps because many authors choose to include either part or all of Parks Faith Development Theory. So the first category of research talked about the physical space. So the physical space of a religion center on a college campus, they talked about what does that mean and what does that look like and how can it be inclusive to all students. So the physical space in this case study was at Stanford University, and they talked about the Memorial Church, which had been the long-standing church of the institution, and the newly developed, more inclusive Circle, which is in their student union, and it's just a interfaith, multi-use space that can be used by all different faiths and all different religions. So for the physical space, I talked about how to make new physical spaces inclusive and how to revamp already existing spaces such as the church, Memorial Church on Stanford's campus, more inclusive as well. They also talked about how this physical space, if it's made in an inclusive way, it can help interfaith dialogues happen. People can have meals together, and it can be a very open and welcoming space. However, if the physical space is not open, it's not inclusive, it doesn't have different things that other religions require, it won't be as opening or as welcoming for the students. So this is why the physical space is important, to make it inclusive and to have people become aware about the physical space or the environment that they're in. Parks also stresses environment quite a bit when she talks about community, her form of community development. She says that the environment is another way, and not just people, but places and physical spaces are a way that students can develop their community. And so to help students reach their final stage of community and their most matured form of community, we need to be conscious about this physical space and how to make it inclusive so that all students can feel welcomed and feel like they're able to use this space. So the next big theme that I came across during my research was interfaith dialogues and difficult discussions. These terms were used interchangeably at times, but at times they were different. So interfaith dialogues, as you can see in this cute little graphic, can be just about any topic, but something that gets people thinking about how my faith interacts with your faith and how we work together in society today. And a difficult dialogue could be an interfaith dialogue that someone is not comfortable with yet, or it could be about a very sensitive topic to one person or one religion and having discussions about that. So interfaith dialogues, through the research that I found, have shown that they are a positive effect on student academic success, and having good interfaith dialogues can help students become better academically as well. There are also research and studies that show that interfaith dialogues are a huge part of the religion centers on college campuses. It's a very big part of what they do, and it's a very important to make sure that people who work in religion centers on campus and faculty in the classrooms know how to conduct interfaith dialogues and how to make sure that people feel included and feel welcomed in these conversations. There is also a very interesting article that really focused on the faculty and really focused on how they can use interfaith dialogues in their classrooms to improve student success. So interfaith dialogues is important all around the college campus. As for difficult discussions, there were a couple articles that gave real examples of interfaith dialogues with quotes from students about what they said that would help student affairs professionals know what to do in these situations. They take what the student said, they analyze it, and they said, this is what you could say, this is a positive outcome, this is a negative outcome, this is what these things look like. So that's really important for us to see as student affairs professionals. What do these difficult discussions look like, and what do these interfaith dialogues look like, and how can we be a positive influence and facilitate them in a positive way so that students are getting the most out of these discussions. Parks also really stresses this topic about interfaith dialogues. She says that this is happening in the mentoring community, which she also stresses a lot. But basically she talks about how these interfaith dialogues can help students answer the big questions in life, such as, why are we here? What is the purpose of religion? Things like that. And that these interfaith dialogues and difficult discussions can really help influence a student's growth. And so the foundation model also proves that these topics are really important and that we as student affairs professionals really need to focus on them. Another big topic that continued to come up in my research was Christian privilege. So this topic of Christian privilege has a lot to do with interfaith dialogues and difficult discussions because a lot of Christian students either don't understand or don't know what Christian privilege is. And so a lot of the interfaith dialogues actually center around this topic. One problem with Christian privilege is that a lot of students on the college campus who are Christian feel like they're in the minority, feel like they're marginalized, which in many cases is valid. But these same Christian students might not understand that their religion is the majority in America, or at least they aren't able to feel that on the college campus. And so many Christian students don't understand the Christian privilege, don't understand this topic, but we as student affairs professionals need to help them understand this, need to help them understand that there are others around them and to go look at and seek out other opportunities for them on campus. And so these interfaith dialogues is a great opportunity for students who are Christian, who either know about Christian privilege or don't, to discuss this topic. It's important for Christian students and non-Christian students to understand this so that the campus together as a whole can work on being more inclusive and having a more interfaith campus. And so that was a large topic of the interfaith dialogue section of the research that I had. This also can play into Parks' faith development theory as well. Christian privilege could be on a Christian student's knowing development stage. So many students who don't know about Christian privilege are probably in the earlier phases of Parks' faith development theory, but these students need to go on this faith development journey and knowing journey to understand what Christian privilege is. And so that's really important that we as student affairs professionals can at least kind of kickstart their way on this faith development journey. Finally, the last theme or large theme that I saw in my research is kind of the fact of being open to other. This is the final stage of Parks' community development stage, is that people are open to other and people can be inclusive and find value in bringing others inside their like faith world, because it can help develop their own faith as well. And so a lot of articles talk about this topic. They mention it. There's one article that mentioned, I don't think that they were expecting us. So different students who might be of another faith might feel uncomfortable at first on college campuses, but the article was to student affairs professionals how to be more inclusive and how to help those other students who are either international students or they're having a new religion that's not the norm or the traditional norm of college campuses, how to be inclusive and how to help those students succeed in college as well. Another article that was very interesting was talking about atheist students and how they've been ignored in the student affairs professional world, and how they haven't been included in different topics of religious either debates or interfaith dialogues at all thus far. And so this article was to help people understand who atheist students are, what atheism is, and how to include these students into our religion centers on campus and include these students in our interfaith dialogues as well. So that was the last big main theme that I saw in the research that I did. So that is my presentation. I hope you're able to gain more understanding about roles of religion centers on college campuses and interfaith dialogues. And thank you so much.